Governments are going cyber, spying on their citizens, erecting firewalls like iron curtains and closing down websites. We ask, is cyber-generated change virtual or real? Empire at this time on Al Jazeera.
Reports of several dead on the streets of Bahrain after troops opened fire on protesters. Soldiers shot live ammunition into the air as thousands of protesters defied a government ban to rally in the capital. Hello, I'm Barbara Serra. You're watching Al Jazeera live from London. We'll have the very latest on the unrest sweeping the Middle East, including Libya set alight. Anti-government protesters defy a police crackdown as the death toll rises to at least 20. Jubilation fills Liberation Square as Egyptians celebrate Hosni Mubarak's fall from power 1 week on. And are Israeli settlements about to be made illegal again? We'll have analysis live from Ramallah as the UN Security Council prepares to vote. Hello there, thank you for joining us. Tension in the Middle East continues to dominate our coverage this hour. Police have fired live ammunition on protesters in the island kingdom of Bahrain. It happened as thousands turned out to remember the 4 people killed in Thursday's pro-democracy rallies. Meanwhile, in Libya, there have been a string of protests against longtime leader Muammar Gaddafi, with reports of confrontations and deaths. In Yemen, too, there were demonstrations, the 8th straight day of protests. We've been getting reports that a grenade was thrown there. Meanwhile, in Egypt, there were celebrations as hundreds of thousands of people marked a week since Hosni Mubarak stepped down as president. Well, let's go to Bahrain first. These are some of the latest pictures that we're getting from the capital, Manama. You can clearly hear the gunshots and see the crowds right here trying to get away. The army is reportedly preventing ambulances from helping the injured. Well, one doctor at the main hospital in Manama told Al Jazeera that the scene is like a war zone with an uncountable number of casualties.
We are calling for help for all the countries in the world. We call for help here in Bahrain. We cannot tolerate this. We cannot bear this. The hospital is full of casualties. All the medical staff are running all over the place. There are victims thrown in the roads. Nobody can free them. Nobody can bring them to the hospital. It's a chaos here in the hospital. That's the way I describe it. We call for an urgent call for everybody in the world, United States, European Union, all the Arab leagues, all the Arab countries. Please do come here to help us. We are an innocent people. They haven't done anything. They have just demonstrated peacefully. They were on their way to the hospital and they were shot dead. We have a lot of deaths here. I cannot describe the situation. It's awful. It's awful. That's the way we can describe it. It's chaos. The hospital is full of casualties. All the medical staff are running on their feet. It's quite difficult to accommodate all of these casualties. The hospital is nearly full. We've taken a lot of patients to the theater. We took patients to the ICU. The accident emergency is full of casualties. It is unbelievable scene, undescribable. It's very difficult to count the number of casualties. We can't even identify them because they don't even hold their IDs. They were thrown on the roads. There are tens, if not hundreds of people are just still on the road. The ambulance cannot reach them. They were stopped by the police guard. They can't access them. It is very hard to describe the situation. It is really, really hard. It's unbelievable, as if we are in a war. These people are innocent. They don't hold machine guns. They don't hold swords, as the government has said. These are just innocent demonstrators. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. We call for urgent help. The ministers, the foreign ministers who were there in Bahrain yesterday should call for help for people, not to support the government who is killing their people. It's very hard to describe the situation. I mean, it's awful.
Very strong words there from a doctor at the main hospital speaking to Al Jazeera a little bit earlier. Well, the country's crown prince has appeared on state TV calling for calm in the Gulf state.
الرجل اللي بيطلق رصاص I say calm down to the person who throws stones and to the person who shoots bullets. This doesn't serve anybody.
Do you want to withdraw the security forces from the street?
We are talking, the security forces, we are talking about controlling the situation. We cannot really do impulsive decision at this moment.
The Crown Prince there speaking a little bit earlier. Well, now we can cross to our correspondent in the capital of Bahrain, Manama. We're not naming him for security reasons. First of all, tell us a little bit about what's going on right now.
Well, right now, inside the hospital, the medical staff are battling to try and save the patients who have been admitted here. I still don't have numbers, but I can tell you in the accident and emergency and in the intensive care part of the hospital, all of the beds are full and there are people being treated, and there are people, as I look now, outside the hospital who have been bandaged and who have wounds who are being treated. The doctors say one of the reasons they've managed to save so many people is there actually was a doctors' protest going on at the time when this shooting happened. All the doctors and medical staff happened all to be in the hospital at the same time, so they had far more resources than they'd normally have during any one shift. But I am told that one patient is extremely seriously ill, gravely ill, and the doctors fear for his life as we speak. That's inside the hospital. Outside, remarkable scenes. Thousands of people, after they've heard what has happened here, have gathered in this compound outside the hospital. I say hospital, this is a medical complex, the only major medical complex for the public in Bahrain. The royals and the military go to a military hospital, but most people come to the Salmaniya hospital, and here there are thousands of people. Some of them say they're not going anyway. They're going to make this the focus of their protest here in the hospital.
We're also getting reports from doctors that ambulances were actually prevented from going to the assistance of many of the people that were injured in the Pearl roundabout. What are you gleaning about that from where you are?
That's definitely what I've been told by numerous doctors here, that they were not allowed to send ambulances to the scene, and ambulances were prevented from going to the scene, and then later a deal was brokered to let the ambulances in, and when they got there they still were stopped and the doctors were forced to get out of the ambulance. Some of them tried then to go on foot to go and treat the people. There are still scenes. I see an ambulance that's arrived now that's bringing some lightly injured people that I think have been brought from somewhere near the Pearl roundabout. Remarkably, hours after this happened, there are still people arriving with injuries at this hospital.
Our correspondent there speaking to us from Salmaniya Hospital with the latest. We're not naming him for his own safety. Thank you for joining us. Now from Doha, we're joined by Ala Shehadi, a pro-democracy activist who's been in Bahrain participating